There's been a lot of different challenges, whether it's personality and, growing the business, expanding. I mean, there's so many, things that you can look at. I would have to just look at 2020. Design to print was really dependent on events, and 2020 didn't have events. And so we had to pull together as a team, and we had to brainstorm. We had to look at, what businesses are thriving, where can we pivot, where can we go, how can we propel ourselves and get us through this muck. We were able to do that together as a team, and it's still just barely 2021, and we're pulling through it. But that was a definite challenge, is looking how to shape your business, mold your business with your whatever circumstances that you don't have control over, and then pushing through and pushing forward.
This being a mother and trying to step up and accomplish your dreams and work, you've got to know that you can do better than anybody else. You've got to genuinely believe that I can do this better and different than anyone else. So my voice in this situation is valuable. Because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you don't 100% believe that it should be you, you're gonna let it stop you. I mean, I have every reason in the morning to just stay in bed. I have every reason to stay at home. I continually battle with myself that I should stay at home and just focus on my kids. But I know that what I'm doing is important, and I know that they need to see that. And I know that if I don't do it my way, it's not gonna get done. So, yeah.
It's just was a battle within myself. As a mom, going to work, it was hard. It was hard to leave every single day your little kids and go, why am I doing this? Is it worth it? Why, And I remember one time driving to work going, my kids are little, I'm driving to school, I'm driving to work, I want to stay home, I want to be there with my kids. And it wasn't but years later, when I was at school with my own children in my classroom, that it hit me that I was like, this is where I want to be. I mean, this is a time when they need me most, is when they were in high school or at their sporting events. And so even though a challenge at the beginning when the kids were little was not a happy one for me, although I loved my job and I loved being home with my kids too, it was neat to see that come around full circle and be grateful for the opportunities that I had in the workplace that helped me be better, that hopefully I'm a good example to them and help them want to strive more.
In high school, college years, I battled a lot with depression. And back then, depression wasn't really a thing, and you didn't talk about it. And my parents, bless their hearts, they did everything to try and help me. But I think I lived those years, probably my junior, senior year, clear through probably till I was in my 30s, just really struggling with identity, who I am. I think until I learned to love myself and own my voice and know that I had a voice, that's when I started to evolve. And I always tell people, I wouldn't trade any of that hardship ever. I grew so much from it, and it was hard. I mean, there's days I'm like, I'm gonna die. This hurts so bad, I'm gonna die, but I lived through it. And I always say, I lived through it, that was awesome. So I think that, we can always go back and say, hey, I've been through that, and appreciate the opportunity to go through it and appreciate how you came out the other side. So we all have stuff, we're not gonna get away from it. It's not always gonna be perfect, but we can create our own kind of perfect for us.
One of the challenges that I've overcome is being put on an all-male leadership team. I was brought in a couple of years ago to sit on our senior strategy team for precision genomics. I was the only female with all male colleagues, and I remember specifically being terrified. And thankfully, I have incredible colleagues that want to hear my voice. I know that's not always the case for a lot of women, and that's when you need to speak up even more. We need you. We need your voice to be heard, and we need you to be bold. And I think that was really one of the biggest challenges, was my fear of what would happen if I did truly speak, and what my voice meant to those men at the table. And that forever changed my perspective of myself and the women that I work with. Is everybody has incredible ideas, including men, but we need to all work together in order to have the best solution.